Okay, so in the last video, we added all of our HTML for what will look like this site when we are done. We worked from the wrapper and then down from the top down, and anytime we hit things that were side by side, we worked left to right. So we did the wrapper, then the header, then the nav, then the div with an ID of slideshow, then the section, then the aside, and within the aside we had a div with an ID of events and a div with an ID of featured, and then we added the footer. So that code looks like this. Notice that they are all inside of the body tags, which you can see if I delete all this extra space here. All of this content is within those body tags. And then all of this content is actually within this div with an ID of wrapper. That's going to allow us to make our website sit in the middle of the page and be either a fixed width or a fluid width of like 80%. So we'll see that in just a second. Now remember, for your layout, we've already done layout 1 for the module 4 assignment, and we had a sidebar on the left. This one just has a sidebar on the right, but you could make it on the left. If you did make it on the left though, just make sure that you put the aside code first and then this section code, because it'll make it easier to kind of float it if it goes again from top down, left to right. Okay. So now we just need to add some of these garish colors in so that we can easily see what's happening here. So now we're just going to work with CSS. All right, let's go ahead and make this a little bit smaller. And we'll work from the CSS now. All right. So again, I'm going to work from the top down, left to right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to target the wrapper. Now, you can't really target the tag because we have a lot of div tags. You could say any div with an ID of wrapper should look a certain way, but to make life easier, I'm going to just put wrapper. Now, anytime you see an ID in HTML, in CSS, it's going to have a hashtag in front of it. So this is truly where all the like hashtag, that social media, hashtag this, hashtag that, whatever, it actually is from this code. It's because anytime you give something a hashtag, you're calling out its ID, which is a unique name. So if I put hashtag football, I'm going to see all the things that people have put that hashtag on. So I'm basically doing a search for that unique ID. So this is truly where it comes from. So anytime you have an ID in HTML, then you're going to put a hashtag and then that ID name. So I'll put hashtag wrapper. And I shouldn't have to tell you, but I'm going to just in case. If you don't spell these right, they are not going to work. So remember, if you accidentally put wrapper like rap music and not the W, it's not going to work unless you spelled it wrong in the code. But anyway, so let's go ahead and go in here and do like background color. And now I didn't pick a background color. I just put like white. So I'll just do like Alice blue. So you can see that it turns Alice blue down here, but see how it's still white if you can. Sorry if you can't see that line delineation, but just trust me, it's there. Because remember, it's not the whole body that's blue, it's just the wrapper. And so that's good for us because we want our wrapper to actually be a cool picture or pattern in the background of the website. So don't forget, anytime you do a statement, you put the selector. Man, is that the right word? I just lost it. I had a brain fart. You put the selector right there, then the colon, then the value, and then a semicolon. So you can see I've already messed that up. So, well, it doesn't look like it did anything other than change the color, but I actually want it to be 960 pixels wide. That's just a standard number to fit most devices, but you could make it 80% so it's liquid and fluid and fits in mobile devices, but that's notoriously hard for beginning web designers to work with percentages because they don't quite often work right. So I'm just going to do a width of 960 pixels. Now, another thing you can do is you can actually say width, minimum width is 960 pixels, so that way its minimum is 960, or you can do a maximum width, max width if you wanted to, but for right now, we're just going to keep it simple and we're going to do width of 960 pixels. So when I do that, you can see that, let me just make this a different color so you can really see it. Let's see. Let's do brown. That's terrible. Okay, so there's our hideous brown color, but it's easier to see. Now you can see it's not moving, it's a fixed width, and it's sitting on the left of the page because that's how websites like to sit. They start out by sitting to the left of the page. So we could say margin on the right should be 500 pixels and or margin on the left should be 500 pixels and the right should be 500 pixels, but if the math doesn't add up, it's not going to sit directly in the center. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to put margin left auto and margin right auto. So that is going to put whatever margin you have left on your website, it's going to automatically divide it evenly between the left and right so that your website sits directly in the center. So I think that's pretty darn cool. Okay, so let's do some padding. So, because I don't really like when stuff touches, so I'm going to do some padding, and let's do like 20 pixels of padding. So now we've got a little bit of space and separation. All right, so there we go. So now we're going to keep just working our way down. So we know that we had the header tag here, so we'll put header and 2 curly braces, background color, color of aqua. I think that looks like aqua to me. And I don't need to put a height in there because I want it to be however high that logo is. But sometimes I actually like this to have a little bit of padding. So I'm going to put padding of 10 pixels. Just so it has a little bit chunkiness to it so I can see it a little bit better. So basically I'm going to just add background colors and padding to all these things. So I'm just going to come down here and basically paste all of those, and I'm going to change all of this. So the next thing to come is the nav, and I'm going to make that like an orange color. And I'm going to leave that padding 10 pixels. So this is the slide. Oh, now we have the div. Oh, no, not the div. Hashtag slideshow, because remember I gave it that name of slideshow, and anytime you see ID you want to have the hashtag. So I'm gonna make this yellow. So obnoxious. Okay, so then here's the section, and I want this one to be green, and I kind of had like a green yellow. Are your eyes bleeding yet? Mine are. Okay, so the aside, I actually want that to be pink. So let's pick deep pink for that. And then remember for the div, we're going to do hashtag events. Events. I think it's actually aqua. So that's, no, let's just do a different. Let's just do a different, like deep sky blue. So it's a little bit different than what the heck happened to logo. What did I do up here? Oh, see how I got rid of I accidentally did it on the header and aqua. Okay, now that's fixed. All right, so events, we need that again. So we need to be, what is this one, featured? Oh, gotta put hashtag or else it won't find it. So featured should be, it is kind of an orange. We'll do orange red. Okay. And last but not least, we are going to put the footer in. And the footer is purple. We'll just do medium purple. Okay. So now we technically have all of the garish colors in there that sort of semi-match what's happening. You can see the pink. Maybe you can't see the pink. It's terrible. That's sitting around the events and the featured image. We need to actually get this whole pink aside to sit over on the right-hand side and this whole section to sit on the left. And we'll do that in the next tutorial video. And then make sure that the footer is sitting down below. So we'll do that with floats and clears, and then we are almost done.